Most people have some sort of interest in changing the world. However, very few realise that one of the greatest contributions that they can make begins with themselves. Hi, I'm Dr. Jo Messenger. Thanks for tuning in. In this video, let's discuss how fear, resentment, jealousy, pride, greed, and avoidance can quietly shape our lives and communities, and how they've been shaping your and my lives and communities, and how courage, gratitude, responsibility, and compassion can become contagious too. Because when you transform yourself, you change the people around you. And when you transform yourself, you change the community around you. And that's how the world changes. If you want to make the world a better place, start by shifting your attention off of your own pride and ego and onto the benefit of your community, onto the benefit of the planet, the animals, the waterways, or whatever your particular affinities, preferences, and alignments are. And start by facing your fears. How about we switch from the KISS formula, from keep it simple, stupid, to keep it simple and sassy? Because facing your fears may be one of the most important things and one of the most simple things, one of the most keep it simple and sassy things you'll ever do. Because fear doesn't usually stay inside of you. It spreads. Just look at how hard and fast fear escalated during the pandemic time warp. Fear influences how we speak, how we parent, how we lead, how we vote, how we treat strangers, how we spend money, how we respond under pressure, how long we leave it before dental appointments, whether to get married or not. Fear doesn't just affect you, it affects everyone around you. And when people live from fear, fear often turns into anger. Anger can become resentment. Resentment becomes bitterness. Bitterness becomes division. And division weakens families, weakens workplaces, weakens communities, and weakens nations. It's like dropping a pebble into a pond. The ripples travel much further than the original splash. And the same is true for jealousy. Jealousy doesn't stay quietly hidden. If it's left unchecked, it can become gossip. It can become comparison, competition, sabotage, character assassination, or if it's left unchecked, it can become a constant desire to pull other people down instead of lifting your own self up. Pride can do the same. Healthy confidence is a beautiful thing. However, unhealthy pride says, I don't need to learn. I don't need to apologize. I don't need to atone. I don't need to change. And the moment we stop learning, we stop growing. Greed is another example. There's nothing wrong with creating wealth. There's nothing wrong with success. I encourage it. Go do it. Do your best. However, when acquiring becomes more important than integrity, when acquiring becomes more important, when it becomes at the expense of your integrity or at the expense of your soul, it's snakes and ladders. When acquiring becomes more important than your integrity, people get hurt. Your community suffers. Your spiritual ranking drops and trust disappears. The same principle applies to our bodies. If we continually feed habits that damage our health, and whether that's chronic stress, excessive sugar, poor sleep, inactivity, addictions, unresolved emotional distress or whatever else, we create an internal environment that makes thriving so much harder. Just as a healthy garden flourishes when it's nourished well, our bodies and our minds function best when we consistently feed what helps them to grow. And the same principle applies to our emotional lives. Whatever we repeatedly feed, that's what grows. And the good news is the opposite is also true. When you choose courage instead of fear, you inspire courage. When you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, you interrupt the cycle. When you choose gratitude instead of resentment, your perspective changes. When you choose responsibility instead of blame, your life changes. When you contribute to your family, to your workplace or your community, instead of simply asking, what about me, what you can get from it, everybody benefits. The world doesn't just become a better place because of one politician fixing something, or one government, or one celebrity, or one retired chiropractor with a microphone and time on her hands. The world can change one person at a time, one family at a time, one conversation at a time, one courageous decision at a time, one profession at a time, until hopefully we change a bit faster. Hopefully we change en masse instead of just one at a time. People often ask me, what can I do to help the world? And here's the answer. Here's my answer. Become the kind of person who creates less fear and more hope. Less division and more understanding. Less blame and more responsibility. Less ego and more service. Every day you have a choice. Every day is our Groundhog Day. You can feed fear or feed faith. You can either feed resentment or gratitude. You can feed comparison or contribution. And whatever you repeatedly nourish, it will become stronger. Imagine if millions of people simply committed to being a little calmer, a little quieter, a little more emotionally intelligent, a little more honest, a little more responsible, a whole lot more transparent. Can you imagine how different our communities would look? Real change begins close to home. Real change begins with us. It begins with the likes of you and me, the likes of you and I. Grammar, the rules have changed. What are they now? Somebody explain it to me. What have you been feeding recently? Fear or courage? Jealousy or gratitude? Division or respect? Your answer doesn't just shape your future, it shapes the world around you. And everyone has the opportunity to bring a little more light into it, into our bodies, into our workspaces, into our relationships, into our living rooms, and whatever else we choose to encounter each day. What are you choosing to feed more of this week? Please like, share, subscribe, do all the algorithm things for this video, because changing the world doesn't start out there. It starts here with you and me. It starts with the choices that we make every day. So until we meet again, remember, laugh lots and you get more of what you think about.